We got a little bit more news out of the exit polls. Again, these are early NBC News national exit polls, and this number sticks out to me. Look at this. According to the early NBC News exit polls, 16% of voters nationwide are first-time midterm voters, people who have never, ever voted before in a midterm election. Among those voters, this is the Democrat-Republican split. 61% of them supporting a Democratic candidate, 36% of them supporting a Republican candidate. Now, 16% may sound like a sliver of the electorate, but turning out for the first time to vote in a midterm, that's the kind of, those are the people that Democrats were targeting.
That is how the Democrats, if they're going to have a very good night, that's how they're going to do it, by changing the makeup of the electorate. That's how President Obama won. That's that when Democrats prevail in states like Georgia and battleground states like Florida, it's because they change, they turn out bigger parts of the Democratic coalition that typically just turns out in presidential years.
And that was a figure that Chuck Todd gave us when we first got the exit polls. 72% white, 28% non-white. The overall electorate, according to those early exits, that's more like the 2008 election, presidential election, than subsequent elections.
Yeah, and you know, it's interesting too when you think about the anecdotal experience of voting in an election like this. If it's the first time you've ever voted in a midterm election, either because you never voted before at all, or it's because you only think of ever voting in a presidential year, turning out to vote this year for the first time, A, means you need to have been motivated, B, means you need to have figured out how to do it. And that's why the voter suppression story ends up being super important. If one party is counting on turning out people who are not used to voting in elections like this, who've never voted in an election like this before, the more barriers you can put in place, the more complicated you can make it, the longer and more arduous you can make the process, the more you can winnow down that number.
You're so right, because there's a culture to voting. And once you get into it, you're into it. You go to the community center, the local church. Young people don't go to those places. They go to the Starbucks, they go on campus, they're out in the street, there are all kinds of places they go. But it's an unusual step to go back to the old neighborhood. Well, in this case, it's great because you can vote on campus. That's cool. I mean, I thought that report was fantastic. I'm with Brian on that. That's the kind of thing we can do in this medium you can't do in the press and print press, is show people doing it. I remember being with Mandela in South Africa when they voted in '94. You actually saw voting happening for the first time, and it's thrilling.
I was there for that election. That was an election. We might see something tonight, but that was an election.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me, or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.